My boss docked my pay for working 1 minute over, so I started clocking out in the middle of everything, mid-call, mid-sentence, mid-crisis. By the end, he was begging me to break his own rule. Let me back up. I worked at a mid-sized logistics company, the kind of place where the coffee is free because nothing else is. My manager's name was Raymond, and Raymond had exactly one personality trait. He loved a rule. Not good rules, not rules that helped anyone. He loved the feeling of having a rule, of pointing at a laminated sheet and saying, "It's policy." He laminated things, by the way. A lot of things. There was a laminated sign above the microwave about how long you were allowed to reheat fish. Here's the part that matters. I was the guy who actually kept the department running. I did the client billing reconciliations, the boring, invisible work that, if it stops, everything downstream catches fire about 3 weeks later. Nobody else understood it. Nobody wanted to. Remember that. It comes back. One Friday, I stayed late to close out a messy account before the weekend. I clocked out at 40 hours and 1 minute. 1 minute. Monday, my paycheck was short, and there was a note from Raymond. Unauthorized overtime per policy time over 40 hours requires pre-approval, docked accordingly. So I went to his office, calm. I said, "Raymond, it was 1 minute. I was finishing the Hartwell account so it wouldn't blow up." And Raymond leaned back, folded his hands like a man about to deliver a sermon, and said, "Rules are rules. If I make an exception for you, I have to make it for everyone. 40 hours means 40 hours, not a minute more, not a minute more. Okay, Raymond." So that Monday, I started following the rule, his rule, to the second. I am a meticulous person. I set a timer on my phone, and the moment I hit 40 hours for the week, whatever I was doing, I stopped. Not finished the thought, not wrapped up the email, stopped. Wednesday afternoon, I was on the phone with our second biggest client, walking their accounts payable lady through a discrepancy. My timer buzzed under my desk. 40 hours. I said, "I'm so sorry, Linda. I've reached my weekly hour limit and company policy doesn't allow me to continue. I'll pick this up Monday." And I hung up, mid-discrepancy. She called back 4 times. I let it ring. Policy. Thursday, I left a reconciliation half-finished, literally a spreadsheet with the formulas dangling because I hit 40 at 2:14 p.m. I put on my coat. A coworker said, "Aren't you going to finish that?" I said, "Can't, 40 hours, it's policy." And I walked out into the parking lot at 2:15 like a man being released from prison. For 2 weeks I did this. And here's the beautiful part. Every week I ran out of hours earlier. Because when you stop doing the invisible work, the visible work piles up, and the piles take time, and the time eats your 40 hours faster. It's a slow-motion avalanche, and I was just standing politely at the edge of it, pointing. 3 weeks in, exactly as I knew it would, the downstream caught fire. The Hartwell account went out with the wrong numbers, then 2 more. Then our biggest client, a company that did roughly a third of our revenue, called Raymond directly because their invoices had been wrong for a month and nobody had fixed them, because the guy who fixes them keeps running out of hours. Raymond appeared at my desk. No laminated sheet this time. He said very quietly, "Can you stay late tonight to catch up?" And I said, and I swear I kept a straight face, "I'd love to, Raymond, but I'm at 38 hours, and if I go over 40, I'll need pre-approval, and I wouldn't want to make an exception, because then you'd have to make it for everyone." He stared at me. I watched the rule he loved so much wrap its hands around his throat in real time. "I'll approve the overtime," he said. "In writing?" I said. "For the file?" He typed it up right there. A new policy with my name on it, granting me standing approval for overtime at my own discretion. He printed it. He handed it to me like it physically hurt to let go of. I have it framed. It's on the wall in my home office next to a photo of my dog. Visitors ask about it. I tell them it's the most expensive minute Raymond ever saved. Oh, and 3 months later, when they restructured the department, they needed someone reliable to run it, someone who understood the billing system, someone you might say irreplaceable. Raymond reports to me now. And every Friday at 4:55, I walk past his desk and I say, "Don't stay too late, Ray. You know how it is. Rules are rules."